You're listening to the audio production of The Magnolia Story by Chip and Joanna Gaines with Mark D'Agostino, published by Thomas Nelson and read by Chip and Joanna Gaines.
We would like to dedicate this book to our children, Drake, Ella Rose, Emmy Kay, and Duke, and to the children of Restoration Gateway. Our commitment to you will never fade. Blessings in a big, ugly disguise. I've always been one to play it safe. If it were up to me, the less risk involved, the better. But this isn't how the story goes, because I'm married to the one, the only, Chip Carter Gaines. One day back in early 2012, my husband decided to go window shopping online. That's always a risky thing to do, but when Chip's the man behind the mouse, it can be downright dangerous. I never know what object or animal might show up at my front door on the back of some random delivery truck. On this particular day, Chip happened to spot a used houseboat for sale. We'd been living in a house that we were getting ready to flip, and we'd just started renovating our farmhouse outside of Waco, Texas, which meant we were on the hunt for a temporary place to live. So Chip clicked through the pictures of that floating two-story shanty with its microscopic kitchen and had a full-blown Chip Gaines epiphany.
I really thought to myself, how cool is this going to be? Move the entire family onto this houseboat. We'll put it down here on one of these lakes. I'll get the kids to fish for breakfast off of the balcony. Joe is going to love this.
So he bought it, sight unseen. We just barely had our heads above water at that point, and he went and threw tens of thousands of dollars down on that thing. And then he didn't say a word. He had it shipped to Waco on a monster tractor trailer and couldn't wait to show off the surprise when it finally arrived. After all our years of marriage, he was still clueless about how I might react. I had no idea any of this was going on, of course. But right around that same time, on some random weeknight, I received a phone call from an out-of-state number I didn't recognize. I picked it up. "Hi, I'm Katie Neff, and I work for a television production company," the woman on the line said. "I saw some of your designs online, and I was wondering..." This Katie had apparently seen photos of our most recent flip house that I'd designed, the one we were living in at the time. A few weeks earlier, a friend of mine, Molly, had submitted these photos to a popular blog called designmom.com, and I'd been excited that a blog with thousands of followers wanted to feature it. It was the first time my work had ever really been featured on a design blog other than my own. I had a loyal local following back then, but no national following to speak of. "I loved what you did," Katie continued, "so I looked you up and read your blog too. I see that you and your husband work together, and I was just wondering, would you ever want to be on a TV show?" I sat there and thought, did I just hear that right? "What about us would you want to show on TV?" I asked. "Well, we just love how organic it is, that you and your husband work together. Not only do you sell homes, but you also flip and renovate them. We think it's unique, and you're a husband and wife team." She went on, and I finally said, "Well, let me talk to Chip, and I'll get back with you." I got with Chip, and he immediately said, "That's a scam, JoJo. Don't call them back."
Yeah, I'll admit I was skeptical. Back in high school, I had these buddies who were always trying to get into modeling. It seems like they'd end up with an agent, some sort of a casting call. They'd wind up paying some guy thousands of dollars to get these headshots, and nothing would ever come of it. So yeah, I thought it was something like that. Joe really thought she was going to give this a shot. So I was like, "Joe, I'm telling you, there's no way this is legit. We're going to meet these people. They're going to get us all excited thinking we're going to be famous or something like that. And then they're going to say, oh, and by the way, you owe us $20,000.
I somehow convinced Chip to let me call Katie back. We didn't have a lot of money just lying around, so I knew there was no way anyone could trick us out of thousands of dollars. Of course, I knew nothing about that houseboat yet. Sure enough, within a couple of weeks, Katie sent an entire camera crew to Waco to spend 5 days filming us for what they called a sizzle reel, basically an extended commercial they would put together to try to sell a television series based on the two of us and our little business. They never asked us for any money at all. They were legit, which made us wonder, why in the world would anyone care to watch us on TV? We don't even watch TV. These people have to be nuts. After the crew spent a couple of days with us, they started thinking they may be nuts too. Chip and I were horrible. We were scared of the cameras, which is hilarious because Chip is the most talkative guy I know. But like clockwork, the moment that red light turned on, he froze.
My mouth was dry. I couldn't even think straight. Joe was her normal, slightly dull self. They just followed Joe around and tried to make something out of nothing. It was pretty obvious this could not make good television. We were awful. We were awful.
The crew had me stand in my kitchen and try.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?